Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
Hello, welcome to another special edition of the Brunch
Story involving the Fulham West National Assembly member, Dauda Sana Jawara, who we all agreed really stole the headlines, referring to the case, we dealt with here, Dauda Sana. This allegation against the president. Now, towards the end of the week, of course, a lot of things, a lot of interpretations and commentaries followed to say it was perhaps all ties to his ambition to run for another term, and perhaps he wants leadership of the UDP, who are supposed to go. What's happening? Right. I think the very fact that he came out this way is a demonstration of a deep split or division within the UDP. And the other coalition partners who were saying that we should go for 3 years and after all get him to respect it. Right. But there is really a suspicion that, come 2021.
Mustafa, what do you make of this? Because this has really been, it has piled up a lot of eyebrows, because a lot of people felt that there's something wrong somewhere, as Mr. Lanija have rightfully said.
The president, in my opinion, did it out of fear and frustration. Fear and frustration of the fact that he may not get agents of the Luciano, the mobile phones and all this. And the exception of few, very fundamental support based on UDP felt Barrow betrays them or is distant from them. As it were, he can't deny this. Talk about different stages. I don't get to support someone to become powerful or to get back to power if I don't trust you. Now the issue of trust is what we are dealing with here. You've seen Barrow and the UDP movement, the UDP meeting at the State House.
Yes,
Ablaye
as an ambassador.
Yeah, there was so much tension that the whole man had to record a WhatsApp audio and respond to those allegations at 3 a.m. You understand? Now that is the kind of a party you are dealing with.
Because obviously that was very clear. That was very clear. You can see from his, from his interviews or from his position that he was a fraud actually.
Sir?
Yeah,
but you see the problem with Salah's. The sellers, this is very simple. He could have invited them to a meeting and tell them that, well, this is what we agreed on, gentlemen, but because of X, Y, and Z, because we have gone through and that, because the reforms are necessary for them to be done, it's important that I stay for 5 years, I want to stay, please. Yeah. And I can assure you that majority of the political leaders would agree with him because they are in the government. People like Hamad Ba, even my party and others. Others would agree.
He started the cycle.
Yes. Yeah. No, even now, he can do that. That's one phase because he needs endorsement. If he does not have endorsement, I want to force his way, he will lose credibility both in the eyes of the Americans and the international community.
What he now said, he's not going to, as far as the coalition, other coalition partners they are concerned, they have been ostracized already. Syria recently, in the Standard, said, he believed that what has been agreed for Barrow to work on in consultation with the coalition have not been done.
But
in the coalition, he did that with the tacit support of the leadership of the UDP.
Yes.
In agreement.
Yes.
So now, what is causing the division between the leadership of the UDP? Why are they split over?
That's what I am trying to explain. I am saying there is what happened. It's a breach of trust. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's fear and a breach of trust. I told you that this started with the very foundation of the coalition. Yeah. Now, if the coalition is 3 years. Now, Barrow said, well, I'm going for 5 years. But if you are going for 5 years, you can simply go back to the coalition and say, I'm going for 5 years, and they will agree. Even right now, the majority of the people, PDIs, here you talk about represents one vote, PDIs. GMC might represent one vote. The rest are all in coalition. The rest are all in the government, yes. And they all have a legitimate vote.
PDP is halfway there.
Anyway, they are all in the government. So, but if you look at it from that perspective, he can still get the endorsement of the majority of people in the coalition. Now,
to ignore the memorandum and then...
Absolutely. Now, on the second part, which is between him and the UDP, of course the UDP leadership came to endorse Barrow. The majority of UDP is in the coalition government. But you see also what happened was that a majority of people, UDP has a very, of course, they are liberals, but they have also a conservative following. Now, the majority of great deal of UDP supporters who were victimized by the general regime have seen Barrow in so many cases going with people that they believe are victims.
Yes, that was being conciliatory.
Yes.
Towards government.
Yes, that was where a lot of them had been felt distanced. And you've seen press statements in the media that some of those people say this guy is hiring younger people.
Yes.
And this guy is doing X, Y, and Z.
Or keeping
and this guy is allowing NIAs, So you see a sense of betrayal from that aspect. Mm-hmm. Now there are these rumors time and time again that Barrow is trying to form his own political party. And I asked Barrow in an interview, and he told me that when time comes, we will know. Mm-hmm. That is not a statement to have come from somebody who is not thinking about it. Okay. So that means he was thinking about it. So the problem, Barrow's problem with the UDP has started a long time ago. Yeah, and that sprung from the fact that they think he was trying to set up his own political party. I think for some reason Barrow came to realize that was impossible. So he tried to now shift his agenda from trying to run away.
Yeah, the Barrow movement, for example, could not get anywhere.
Yes.
In their ambition to transform.
Exactly.
So and now have to come to the UDP.
Now he is changing the direction and now wanting to hijack the UDP. So now that is where the problem is.
So the question still surrounds what I said. It all has to do with his ambition to run after.
Yes.
That is the problem.
Yes.
Now, what do you make of this other scenario somebody painted? He said, the UDP is not a party that belongs to Dabo.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Now, he said it in another context, that the UDP was formed by NCP, PPP, GPP, in order to circumvent Jammeh's banning of oil gas.
Yes.
They formed the UDP and they were looking for leaders.
And
that got them to Dabo. Now, in his judgment, these are the people who wants to get the UDP from Dabo. And they see Barrow, because of course of the influence of incumbency, as the right and appropriate tool to be able to do that. So is Barrow now a willing tool in the hands of key players that are behind the NCP?
We don't do that.
What do you make of it?
That is preposterous.
But don't you think there's an element of substance in that? Now, who are the people supposedly advising President Barrow, or allegedly advising Barrow, or pushing his agenda to contest?
You see, that is ridiculous. I think Barrow's greater support.
Let me take you back.
I think everybody has to.
Let me take you to the rally that Ousseynou addressed
in Banjo.
Ousseynou said the UDP must be mindful of people of the former regime who are going around dishing out money saying they are going to form a new political party.
Yes.
Many people thought he was referring to APRC,
Yeah.
but other school of thought saying he was not APRC.
Yes.
Now, who was the former?
It now comes down to our current discussion we are having. Yeah. Now let's look at this in a very broad way. One, you see, the UDP, the Dabo support base in the UDP, I agree that Dabo would get more respect when he remains, he can't remain the leader of the UDP, but when he recruits and backs someone else, I think he would be more respected. So I agree with that. But let me tell you, there is currently nobody in UDP. I can tell you that with 100% certainty.
Yes.
That has even half of support that Dabo has. It's not there. You see, the problem is, let's look at this from a different perspective. You see, when a party sets up and go after a leader, they are more like a revolutionary movement that came to power with its own army. Yeah. It's difficult to disintegrate them. Now that is Dabo's situation in UDP. There are a lot of people who may not want to see Dabo lead UDP, but they would not want to see him victimized.
Okay,
such people may come to you and say, look, Dabo is older, I think he should step aside.
Yes.
But if you go after him, you will have a problem.
But now, is it not the case that the proponents of Barrow's candidature for the UDP probably realize that there are forces who actually, like you said, may not necessarily want Dabo to stay as a flag bearer or whatever.
But they will
victimize. Yeah, but again, they felt that with Barrow already in the incumbency and in pole position perhaps to boost the party's chance of winning, why don't we stick to Barrow before Dabo bring another person?
Absolutely. So in my opinion, that is why I told you that Barrow could have dealt with the issue of trust in UDP. Yeah. Barrow does not actually have a problem, in my opinion, to lead the president, to be a president for the second term. Dabo is not an obstacle to Barrow.
But Dabo had made it clear in April last year, during the legislative elections, that he said if after President Barrow's 5 years, he is going to contest.
That is what I am saying. But that is a crisis
that conflicts with Barrow's ambition now.
But that is a crisis that is manageable.
Manageable? Now, Dabo will have to subdue.
It was manageable until, politics is about, So, power is such that, it's such that when there is a conflict of interest, when there is no trust, I can back you to become more powerful. Because I know that you're going to be in charge of my destiny. You're going to be more powerful. You're going to be in charge of everything I will need. I will need your approval for access to other things. So I don't get to support someone to become powerful or to get back to power if I don't trust you. Now the issue of trust is what we are dealing with here. You've seen Barrow and the UDP movement, the UDP meeting at the State House. Why was it recorded and said online?
Yeah, Barrow made it clear.
So I am telling you that Barrow has lost support within the core of the UDP. And trust me, even if you select him as the next presidential candidate for the UDP, with Dabo's endorsement, he can lose vote. And trust me,
he can lose vote within the UDP.
And if you think Dabo is so powerful, if he backs Barrow, I can tell you that he will be disbanded.
Even Dabo himself will be shown by you.
I think so.
So Barrow is not said.
Let's look at it from a different perspective. He is not indispensable. Yeah. You've seen the problem that arises in UDP after the appointment of Boja, the former speaker.
Yes, Ablai
Boja.
As an ambassador.
Yeah, there was so much tension that the old man had to record a WhatsApp audio and respond to those allegations at 3 a.m. You understand? Now that is the kind of a party you are dealing with. You are dealing with a party that has some very extreme right-wing following, but some also moderate following. And you have a very few moderate following. So that is why, and it's based on an agenda.
Yeah. So nowadays, what we learn, what I think we learned from the action of Senator Jawara, sitting member of parliament for the UDP, it may be believed to be the ruling party, so to speak, coming out, according to the State House, just to get himself into the limelight and perhaps win some hearts for him and damage President Barrow's reputation. It is not a very clear sign now that from now against election, whatever year it happens, their remain is anti-Barrow, pro-Barrow and pro-Barrow. Because obviously that was very clear. That was very clear. And you can see from his, from his interviews or from his position that he was a pro-Barrow actually. Yeah, in the whole debate.
So, but you see the problem with Salah's, the Salah's,
yeah, because there's a problem there too. I mean, he accepted, there are school of thought that he accepted the pickups, the source of which he didn't know. If he was that principle, why did he ask the question of the source of the money? Why is he now questioning the appropriateness of Barrow giving gifts to MPs?
So you see,
now,
so it's political.
So he has a political motive.
Yes, it's political. But that is to tell you, that is what you need to understand. Like you have, since this thing came out, you have an incredible number of people who went out to say, well, we've also been given money. Like this local government councillors, and who also said he was offered. And a lot of other people said he was offered. And I can tell you, even in the National Assembly, majority of you, if not all of them, all loyalty to them. So that's the problem with even campaign on the names of them. Yeah. Anywhere he goes, he tells them X, Y, and Z. So how do you remove the flesh from the soul? It's impossible.
As we head to the next election or so, that will cease to be the case now.
So let me tell you.
I think Barrow will have to walk to quite distinct
himself
from that. If actually his ambition to stand is clear. So we are going to see a more clear wedge between the two sides, not so.
Yes.
But anyway, to wrap up this part.
And that is why he would need to form his own political constituency, but this is what...
Within the UDP.
Outside of the UDP.
He
has no influence in the UDP.
But you have already said that without UDP's backing, he'll probably find, where can he get...
No. So that is where the problem is. That is why I said the initial idea was to form his own political constituency.
That didn't work.
That didn't work, it was impossible. Yeah. Now, his second phase of the thing, in my opinion, is to get the UDP's support. And that is also proving impossible.
That's proving impossible. Well, then, Mr. Barrow, and he has to calculate his
I think he has to calculate his own ways to do it, but I think it's doable.
But now, finally, how does this leave with the other side of the political divide? How do you think APRC and GDC are jumping into
advantageous?
Because very obviously you'll be cautious to listen and will make comment. But
APRC, I think in my opinion, if this division goes further than it is already, there will be obviously division in the UDP, and that disadvantages them as we move on forward to another election. If there is going to be an alliance between GDC and APRC and the rest,
not included though.
Well, if there is no alliance within the rest, there will be a problem.
Fine. The other topic in the news, I mean, the initiative, well, of course, this one was very dominant. Like I said, it virtually swallowed up all the commentaries and feature stories all over. Yes, but then we also had a little bit of from the commissions, which I said, which is also important. I said, for the first time, we know the properties. I mean, General Saul Biden has been allegedly received a whole lot of money, using the president's name or pretext of working for them. And it's now been said by the commission, according to their findings, they own 8 properties across the country. Are you surprised that it is smaller than you probably might expect for somebody through whose hands millions allegedly have passed?
Not very. I know Saul a little.
And you know what? I've never seen.
At a personal level.
I've never seen him with my eyes. Personally.
Yeah, I've seen him a little few times, and I know his real name and things like that, his family. I do not think that he would have had a lot of things, and so the time that he has spent being the guy that he is, or the name that he holds, was not a very long time. He was not there since Jammeh came. Just the latter part of his regime that he came to be.
Yeah.
so influential in terms of the positions that he holds. And that is, in my opinion, largely as a result of the fact that he had a strong influence over that section of the military that played a very crucial role in keeping Jammeh in power. The face of the terror of Jammeh regime. Yeah. So it was like the black box of the right violations that Jammeh has done. So I think that is when he became more influential. So I wouldn't think he should have a lot of money yet. Of course he should have, because he should have sizable amount of resources, but not super rich.
Now let me quickly, it was quite a heated argument. I just allowed you guys to, because it was quite educative and interactive. But I'm very interested for us to talk about the Honorable Minister of Justice, with his utterance saying that they would not be tolerating people giving falsified information against anybody or so. So you made mention earlier that you suspect that it's based on the earlier discussion that we had with Honorable Sana Jawara. So do you actually feel that that statement that was being altered by the Honorable Minister was directed to Honorable Sana Jawara?
But Mr. Tambili said no. He said, when he was talking, he said, in fact, as he speak there, he thought at the moment that people would think that he's referring to the matter that is prominent in the media, which is, of course, Sana's allegation against President Barrow. But I think I have always feared that the remaining bad laws on anti-freedom of speech laws that are still in the books would probably be used one day or the administration will find use for it. And I felt Barrow was intimidating or trying to threat people that, well, if it continues like that, especially if, allegations are directed at the president, they will do what? And of course, they were trying to protect the president from this kind of things when they said, accept those directions that the president would remain in state. So I think Barrow is trying to send a message that it won't be long for people who actually are bold enough to attack the powers that they could find themselves in trouble. I'm worried about his statement. I don't know anything about it.
The statement was, I don't think he should have said that. It was a bad statement to make, because it sort of suggests that the kind of brand that Barrow was talking about his regime, the kind of reputation he was talking about, the human rights, the protection of freedom of expression and all that, was not as truthful as we would want it to be. Because if they intend to keep false news and things like that in the laws, it means that that's going to make the job of journalists very complicated.
And there were occasions like.
Of course, we're not surprised though. False news is one of the things that Barr himself came to, the Ministry of Justice came to defend in the Supreme Court, and the press union was there. We had sued them. So, but if you look at it also, I can understand the concern, because a lot of things are happening that are not actually done by journalists or professional journalists. Let's also be fair to ourselves. Of course, there is I personally do not have any right to go to any platform and lie against anyone. That's right. Nobody has right to do that. Nobody has right to record a WhatsApp and insult someone's mother. Nobody has that right. That is not even productive. See, when we waste our time focusing on productive things as insulting people and attacking people unnecessarily, we neglect the doing of the very things that we should be doing. So it's in a way also unproductive social behavior that one will go online and insult someone or keep attacking people that they keep insulting. It's not also healthy.
So in a nutshell, we should learn from that.
No, we should stay away from that, but that does not mean, you see, people like us who are in the media, we always wary of government intervention in the area of controlling, because governments are not good at it.
Yes, because
they give them the opportunity to tell.
They will say they are doing on
what one says and what should one not say.
That's my point. Because they will say they are doing it to protect the citizens, when actually they are trying to deflect, criticisms, from the public towards them themselves. That's why
it's a bad thing that it even came from at this time.
And the comparison is
support that Gambia has got and the Bushans was also like this. So you have made a pledge, a commitment that you're going to respect rights. That is why some of these pledges were made. And I'm afraid if some things have changed, some of those pledges will not happen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lanin Cham. Of course, I believe that was quite educative for you, our viewers. Quickly taking you to our website review, which will be done by Mustafa K. Dabo. Mustafa, what do you have for us?
So, not much very different from what Salah said, but I want us to look at the TRC and then the memorandum of understanding that they signed with the victims committee. I think this is very crucial because it gives the victims the opportunity to not just be part of the process of the making of the transitional justice mechanism, but also have their voices heard. I think this is a very crucial thing that happened during the course of the last week. The victim center signed a memorandum of understanding with these people, and we know that also the victim center is going to do a small, build a small, I think, museum for 2001 victims. And so, so there are other things that you cannot separate the victim center from the TRRC, and I think this is a very crucial thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's important. From the word go, I think the victim center is certainly is the most organized voice or tangible evidence of what has transpired on the government administration. And it is important that if not all redressing of the matters channeled through them, but at least they be involved in the center stage of whatever redress or whatever reparations or whatever discussions that are happening towards the victims of the government. The victims center will tell you that they have registered over 1,000 cases now of alleged atrocities, one way or the other, alleged crimes against individuals under the government. So the TRC cannot find a larger or more organized group or more relevant to their work than the victim center. And of course, I can understand because the victim center will tell you they have more attention now in the becoming of the TRC than they've got from the central government directly. You know that they have been complaining that they found it difficult even to have audience with former vice presidents, or what they have been given or told the Ministry of Justice was not enough to assure them that justice or anything would happen. But when the TRC came, and I've seen that they reached out to the victim center and tried to involve them more. So I think the victim center are now perhaps relatively happy that attention is being given to them, and the TRC will work closely with them to see whether the redress can be found, to the 1,000 plus people who are all claiming that they have been victimized already. And activities they want to do, for example, the monument for the other 2,000 student victims plus others disappeared or slain journalists. That's how good, because that really stays here and reminds people of what happened in the past, so that they will know, as they all aspire, no recurrence of such things. So I think the MOU was good.
May I quickly add that my favorite Gambian artist, Sona, is working on a new album.
An album on what?
That's
an album on where she's going to talk about social vices like FGM, things like, things that are affecting women, children in Gambia, and also some highly cultural issues. It's going to be a second album after first year. First year was yeah. First year was amazing in my opinion. I look forward to having her on this platform.
I don't know. what a Gambian music. I cannot help you with that.
She's such an amazing musician.
She's such an amazing artist, and she's had energy and artistic purity, clarity in her message. It's amazing. I follow her line.
You are a fan of Jobateh.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
No doubt about it.
I'm more than a fan.
What else do we have on Kerr?
So yes, I want us to also look at, just briefly, the functions, because oftentimes the communication from government, but particularly from the office of the president, has been a subject of either criticism, even inquiry and all of that stuff. And last week, Ami Bojan was on Kerr platform and
many others.
And many others, but she tried to spin the thing, but it was quite.
Some said she was almost emotionally.
She was emotional.
Collapsed.
Yeah. So actually, how do you look at the government's communication strategy as it relates to the citizens? I mean, given that his performance on that platform. I watched it, but
what very impressive.
well, see, one would have thought that if a story is out there that you want to dispel, you create an alternative story.
Yes.
That makes more sense than this story.
That's how you dispel.
But
you know,
but instead of creating a new story, they try to beat the dead horse.
Anyway, I think from the word go, I've always said that like you may have the best policies, you may have the best programs, but in politics, if you cannot communicate articulately, you miss out. You miss out in touch with the people. Now, a government may have all the worst policies, may be incompetent, but if it has a very good spin doctor, a very good person who can eloquently, articulately express the government's position, whether they are false or great, occasionally or many times wins the hearts of the people. And if you look at these two scenarios, you put in Amis, I think I don't envy her job, because I think it's a pretty difficult job, especially in the times and age we are at the moment. The people always form positions and opinions when something breaks. Before you, in the presidency or as president, come with your own. So you have to be extra smart and suddenly very, very, very scrupulous in what you are going to say for people to buy. So in my view, people have already taken their positions and their opinions have been expressed on the matter. No amount of avoidance or my good friend Ibrahim Sankare's person will convince them. It's difficult. But if Bojan or Ibrahim Sankare thinks that this is the truth, they should say it. What they shouldn't say is what is not defensible. Because that's the problem. If you do that, you are just tying up yourself. If I believe that's what happened, I will say this is what happened. Whether you believe it or not, Mustafa is your business. What I will try not to do is to say something that obviously, even if I am 6 boy and you do feel that no, there is a hole in this. And that's what important.
So in other words, there is no problem lying, but there is a problem
with the way you lie. No.
That's actually my question.
The problem is avoid the lie. Alright? Okay. But if you know it is true,
but if you lie and your lie puts a problem in a deeper problem.
No, if it is going to be a lie, I will say it. If I know it's a lie, I will not say it.
Then just take the joke.
No, I will say it. What I'm trying to say, if it is true, I will say it, no matter your position is. But if it is true, if it is not true, and I know it's not true, I will say it.
Well, Mr. Lamincham, how about if you...
So I'm not paid to tell a lie, I'm paid to tell what the position of the government is. If I think from the word go is not defensible, I say no. We have to go with another one before we go. This one is not. Why don't we go straight to the point and say anything? I mean, that helps. It honestly helps.
Well,
I don't envy hard job because I like I said.
Yeah, like it's quite interesting having such heated argument. And here Mr. Lamincham say, If it's a lie, then you don't say it as the speaker or as the communicationist for the government.
Yeah,
how about if you've been taxed by the overall, saying that this is what I want you to say to the public? Would you mind that?
I think my job would be to advise them what will come out to the people based on what happened. And I will give my advice. So in my analysis, this and this I think is what happened. This statement is absolutely trash. If we take it out, we're only going to ridicule ourselves. So I will advise that I will take this.
So how about if you're being, if after you've explained it,
and they still want to go
them, and they ask you, look, we understand your plight, but then this is how we want
to
go about it.
Somebody will do that job.
So what's your general perception about government's communication?
Well, I think to be fair, it has improved a lot over the past 6 months or something. And I'm not sure whether actually people believe them more now than before. But communication really has improved because I have seen them twice coming out to defend or to explain situations that arise, public debates that, arise on social media. And so they don't wait until it's too much. I think that side is improved. But whether people believe them more now than before, that's up to interpret.
So yeah, finally we know that there was, during the cabinet meeting, a lot of issues were discussed. Among the things that were looked at was the reduction of international income contamination rates. The Minister of Information talked about this, we communicated this, and then also we know that Gambia has also ratified, which is going to be before the lawmakers, the Convention on Small Arms, in the sub-region, and then these are significant developments, and they had happened during the course of the week. So these are some summary basically of things that we have followed and others have followed on Kerr website. So back to you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Dabo. That was quite educative. And viewers, to our next session of the show is the Entrepreneur of the Week. And now, usually what we do on this segment of the show is we'll profile Gambians that set up a business and, the businesses have an economic growth and employment creation. And in this edition, we feature Aisha Kubri, a vendor at the Coastal Road Market. Let's take a watch.
Aisatu kurubale mbota yundumle nkana wafuro costa romal setu jamuna place wolti jang ka fenja mala wafu katu nka tiyo wafule nka tiam ko wafu nka dege wafu nka tamate wafu nka mutara wafu tentulo bi jang jabo bi jang pompitero kata mano wonjo sito jusul bi janne mutara bi jang pobaro bi jang videgarol bi jang espaketil bi janne kata jimbo sifa aja vinegarol falam bijanne kata kadila kata kori baking powder comme ka fenje mal waf dal nka mel wafu sadal nka nyamum ko fala wafule farño bijanne sukuro bijanne nka nyil be wafule dulino falam bijang ya pobarol falam ke sitile kata lajol kata mbusol nke be wafu me nduni femese wa photo akomi ngam fam makoy itina family makoy no nyame because business on jani badam telephone nga start ning ice la no I start with ice nga start ice la nga ice waf kabdi nga ice wafu nga 5000 nasro bo jani be 5000 jani be ice waf la nga frigo lo don ton kabinga fiyo donto afana na ice wafu nga 5000 soto o 5000 nata Senegal nga samoto ning spill sang nata ngole wafu mbola for 2 years after na jang yele meja yele falang because man hani ka yele ko dibala nga yele ning 5000 dala nga start 5000 dum ko jabole wafu do ran diwlu no ani jimbo say nga start ni wala fon say alhamdulillah amina kan doman man se mo so han say bar mina kan doman domanding yo comme nga bringa business o start men ko le akuna tamol kan wolom nyinti ko baka so la zero because nyim baka so yombata wala fal media antel falay isa im falan si domani so bar baka so sertale nyinga sang ka men so je abaka sia so wala nata nakina promote ni marché kono because right now tem fa jabobe ko le arne pompitero fan the same thing so nying fiongol yombata isa antel falan si profito so fiong ka yomba nyame falan ka mo profito no wonyale ni fongol be salaire difficult falam because ni melni 100 nata yemi day ñe sang ye bagage maison saka difficult le bolle ya ani ñin time mo falam ko min ñewo ko le yare marché bu ka tama baake ya kabringa stand ndam mane baka wado ko to ma diun kana makoy ni man chance to no lu men kana but right now ndam mane baka folo no manto sotae comme just like a marché kono drong adun be sentale falam ya nga customer nga dol sotole to nya nga fi nga sel sotol demanding ya because na starting buka sel sotol no to mandal marché la mom marché kalang long anu man client soto bar sain tangot client mina kan demanding firo kata hakay because marché fon kono jan dol bi tableau lebebul sometimes nga xol sel wa fi male nka tamato khol so waf noy male nka jimbul wafi ma pobaro fan the same thing because ntel pobaro sana nka boto san ni nga boto san aftan kana wafi ma nka na duma ani client falang amanke dinu ta amanke kewoti amanke musoti comme just like marcel mo sifa bele kanaje firo kay wo mom mo sifa bele kanay ko customer receive ya alhamdulillah lafta wala parce que momo kala fi ñaaru tal kabringa bit ko ñele man sanji fulo so je folo mais 1 year 6 months la kon but fal laftale nga manga sinol yele because fal mala fi nga dante laftale nga manga sinol yele
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature. You can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
So, you see what I mean? All peoples of the world have culture, have a way of life. And gift is part of every culture, every people's culture. It's a practice everywhere you go to. But you know, there are a lot of things in our culture which are good only in the context of that culture. But when we want to transmit that to national governance, to policy making, to the functions of public institutions and the function of public officers, then we will cause damage that will be irreparable.
Here, if I have a new baby now, or I got married now, or I mean, I even graduate, you can come and say, Madi, that's part of our culture. And the Constitution, interestingly, recognizes that kind of gift as acceptable.
Okay, all right.
Gift that comes within the context of our customary practices.
So if this was a christening or naming ceremony of Honorable, whatever Honorable got it, and Barrow sent somebody there to go and deliver a podcast at the ceremony, it would be acceptable?
No, because even there, the Constitution understands that even within that customary context, there is some gift that is beyond that customary requirement, that is directly going now to influence a public officer to do something that he's not supposed to do, or not to do something that he's supposed to do. So that if Barrow is a public officer, for example, as a president, and in our culture, you may be his friend, you are a businessman, he has a gente, you decide to give him, a ram or so. All right, but where now you undertake to sponsor the whole gente, and you own Fatou Radio, Kerr, then that raises concerns that you are trying to buy the president, in order to get access to certain contracts or so.
You're looking at intent, or
yeah,
but the president said the president does not need them for any favor, so he's not buying.
But that is not true, because the president needs,
what is he looking for?
He is looking for space. One, to have his bills brought to the assembly and passed. To limit the ability of parliamentarians to check him.
But he targeted only one party.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Even one parliamentarian. So whether one party, two parties, one parliamentarian, he should not have given any gift to any parliamentarian whatsoever, because he'll influence that parliamentarian. So, and this issue you brought about, they're lacking fuel. Sometimes some of these things we say them, and I guess people don't listen to themselves. Right now, President Barrow, as head of the executive, he cannot spend any money, public money, without the approval of the parliament. Because the parliament determines what money he should spend.
But do we know that's what he gave the money from his salary? He gave the money from his salary. We don't know that.
No. You see, still, you can have your income. But what I'm saying is, the president is a public servant.
Yeah, that's true.
So regardless of how much salary he is having, regardless of the amount, they said 10,000. Let's imagine it was $10. Even that $10, he's not supposed to have given $10 to a single parliamentarian or public officer for that matter.
Yeah, by law.
And any public officer, you are not in any way required to receive $10 from the president or from any other individual.
In whatever circumstances.
In whatever circumstances. Okay. Right. I mean, if a police officer at Sangajo Police, you are in your vehicle going and they are standing at the checkpoint, you feel they are doing a good job, you give that police, here is $10, buy a time. That officer should reject it according to the law. You see? So, if we want to bring this in the context of our culture, as you try to explain, then what we're going to have is we will run public office, we will run public policy based on our whims and caprices, based on our imagination. And the moment we want to run things on that basis, then that is when abuse of power, violation of rights take place, and then impunity. Because these things happen, and because that's what is impunity. Violation happens, breaking of the law happens, and there is no redress, there is no accountability. That's impunity. So for me, I want to call on the members of parliament that they need to address this matter. The Minister of Justice must address this matter, because it's a blatant act of corruption taking place at the highest level of our state, and it's unacceptable. And we cannot let it pass. If this thing passes, then we have certified, we have legalized, legitimized corruption in the Gambia.
Now, when we allowed, coming to the MP itself, I mean, although you and the groups have spoken against this thing, I mean, they received across the board, except perhaps a few parliamentarians, from the Doi group accepted the 57 so far unknown a donation to the president.
And I guess even Syria accepted that, so Doi is also part.
Oh, Syria? That's news to me. Syria is driving that pickup?
I think he goes around in that truck, yes.
No, it's not a coalition pickup.
Well, I saw him in a truck the other time. That's no coalition.
You think that is the 57
I
donation?
think so, yes.
That's news to me because Doi has always said they won't take it. But then, if they have accepted that and they are comfortable with that, now if you value that, that's close to 700,000 or 200,000. They have no problem with that. Now they've taken $10,000 as a gift.
Yeah.
So what do you make of it? Okay, of course, you have already spoken against 57. You already condemned it.
It's the same story.
It's the same
I mean, when the 57 vehicles occurred, some of us spoke against it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, so, and this is the impunity I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, that 57 vehicles happened. The government had the audacity to face Gambians, to tell them it was anonymous. That is criminal. You know, government is not private property. Yes. No, nobody should give our Gambia government resources. And the Gambia government must not spend any resources anywhere and tell Gambians that is anonymous. Only in the Gambia can the government address citizens in that manner. That is enough for that government to be kicked out of office. So, but this is the effect of impunity. So we got 57 vehicles, okay, and now we have this money, and so a precedent has been set, and so right now, by these actions, the biggest threat, therefore, to the democracy and the good governance and the development of the Gambia is the President and the National Assembly. Because they hold the greatest responsibility to make sure the rule of law is adhered to, enforced in this country. And they have demonstrated their, clear destroying the rule of law in this country.
Now, some of the people, let me finally finish. Some of the people who've been following your discussions and questions said the kind of purity or perfection you are advocating for government is impossible. That is more easy to say these things when you are outside than you are inside the government.
That's not true.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
Some people find you to be inconsistent. Sometimes they agree with you, and of course that is natural. That's what you do as an analyst. They find you very conflicting and inconsistent. One day they will love your interventions, the next day they can't understand you.
Well, it's up to them. But the point is, this constitution, we created it.
Yeah.
All right. And we did not create it just to put it in a shelf and to claim we have a constitution. It's been created purposely to govern public institutions, private institutions, public officials, private individuals, civil society organizations. Anything that happens in the Gambia is guided by the constitution and the laws that came afterwards. Purposely to make sure we create a civilized society where human rights and human dignity are protected. Because where any society where human rights and human dignity are damaged, even for once, then that society, nobody is safe. That society is not secure, it's not safe. That eventually it will be a jungle, survival of the fittest. And we have seen that in the past 22 years, that public institutions like the NIA or the Gambia police can arrest an individual midnight and nobody knows where you are. That is jungle society, survival of the fittest. So my protection does not lie in the Gambia police force or in the Gambia army or by President Barrow. My security is in the rule of law where everyone respects the rule of law. That is what provides me security. So you can equip an army. Gambia army was equipped. The NIA were equipped, but they could not secure. Where are your fellow journalists? What happened to the Hydra?
Myself.
Yeah, yourself. Because they were not acting according to the rule of law. And that rule of law has only one purpose: to protect our rights and fulfill our needs. So any society where the rule of law is bent once, everybody must be severely alarmed. I had a meeting I train a lot of police officers on human rights in this country. Hundreds. I remember some time ago, we had this training at the police headquarters. And in the discussion, we were talking about torture. And it was tough to make these police officers see that torture is wrong. And I raised this question. Who remembered your former IG, Jesus Baji, Ensa Baji, when he was dismissed, arrested, taken to Mile 2, and he appeared in court the first day? What did he say? I mean, that day, the whole 50 senior police officers, the place was quiet. This must be 2014 area. And everybody was quiet. A junior officer at the corner said he claimed he was tortured. Said this is the point. Said, but Jesus Baji was a police officer, career police officer. Yeah. Under his watch, he tortured people in his whole career. And by law, he's a duty bearer. He is required under Section 17 to protect our rights. But he spent his entire time violating rights. But this is the thing. If you allow the rule of law to be damaged, one day it comes back to you. So, I mean, my security is not to be guaranteed by how many soldiers we have, how many police officers we have. My security is where the president follows the rule of law, the parliament follows the rule of law, and they insist on the rule of law. Then I know I'm secure. So I'm not being outrageous or I'm not talking about an impossible thing, no. Because there are societies in this world where what I'm talking about exists, and they are human beings, where respect for rights, protection of rights, the delivery of quality public services is available.
So I actually, I will come to the issue of the role of the National Assembly in scrutinizing the executive. But first, let's start with the government itself. I mean, since Barrow came to power, a number of things had happened. First, they gave National Assembly members 57 vehicles. We know the issue of fertilizer issue also came up, even though, you know, it's before the court, but we know a minister confirmed that it's true that his permanent secretaries were involved, even though he claimed he was not. But in all those cases, and in so many orders that came, Barrow is aware and did nothing. You don't think it's a confirmation that perhaps we are dealing with a president who is corrupt himself?
Well, I have no doubt about that. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the fertilizer issue, legally speaking, because it's in court. So
I'm talking about
let's respect
Barrow himself.
Yeah. But all of those issues, Barrow first went to Senegal. A Senegalese businessman gave him 2 houses. Of course, these 57 vehicles.
Allegedly? Or that's confirmed?
It's confirmed.
From where?
I think even
from
the presidency
he
was given, but he turned it down.
Yes.
He turned it down?
Yeah, I think the presidency said
turn it down.
No, they did not turn it down.
But I've never heard them say they accepted.
But we know when he was occupying the house he was occupying at Bruford.
Yeah.
Was it his? Or
well, I mean, unless you...
No, but I've not heard anybody accept or say.
But let's focus on things that are confirmed already. Like
allegedly.
You said okay, fine.
They gave him 2 houses.
No. What I know is they acknowledged it, and you know that the man gave the houses to the president to thank him for what Gambia has done for him. Blah blah blah. There has not been a statement ever that the president has torn down these houses. It did not occur.
But I didn't see a statement where the president accepted.
Yeah, he did.
Or statements
at the time. Yeah, at the time. He did, yeah.
So,
all right. So that was there, and for me, I stand by it unless I see or until I see a counter information to that. But that those houses were there. Of course, the 57 vehicles came recently. You know, in Mecca is 11 million or so. That is also given. When DA was president, I mean minister, he made all of those things. You have the Semlex issue. You know, we have the MGI issue. They terminated that, but surprisingly, they cannot terminate this other contract as if you know,
they are different.
They are different because every contract, you know, bounds you to certain obligations. And so if you can terminate one contract, why can't you terminate the other contract? And and then, of course, you have all of these $10,000 now given to an MP. So what it tells me is the greatest perpetrator of corruption in this country is the president himself. And for me, that is a threat to national security. And that must be addressed. Yes, that must be addressed, and it has to be addressed now. So I'm really shocked that our parliament is sitting quiet over this and even aiding and abetting such corrupt practices by receiving 57 vehicles. All right. And of course, the majority of our citizens sitting down. We should be marching out in the streets. We should be going out in the courts to demand that corruption stops. We have seen it happen all over the world.
Some people will accuse you of calling for civil disobedience.
Yes, we need to get into civil disobedience because as citizens, that is the only tool we have, non-violent, democratic, legal mechanism we have as citizens to engage in civil disobedience, to express our disagreement, our grievance at the wrong practices of the state so that they stop it. So the problem should not be, those who have a problem with civil disobedience are looking at things wrongly. The problem is not civil disobedience, the problem is the corrupt and inefficient practices of the government. That is what they need to address. So not those who are talking about protest.
So I'm going to look at this within the context of, Transparency International report, which was out last year. I mean, it suggests Gambia is still at the bottom of the ranking when it comes to the most corrupt countries in Africa and in the world. So, but if you look at the functions of the National Assembly, we know, yes, they have a role to scrutinize the executive, but in the same time, much of what the National Assembly enjoys is in the control of the executive. Do you not think in a way like they are funding everything as through the finance ministry, even their travels? Don't you think that's also a defect in our governance infrastructure?
Yeah. If you check 2018 budget, the Office of the President has allocation of almost 500 million. The allocation for the National Assembly is either less than 100, but in any case less than 200 million. And if one understands the democracy, governance, the National Assembly is the accountability tool for the whole Gambia. It's the monitoring and evaluation mechanism. And so the health and the strength of our democracy, of our development, lies on the National Assembly. In a sense, the National Assembly governs a democracy, a democratic republic. The executive is only law enforcement. You see, this is the anomaly we have, and of course, this is all part of our history, how we came to this point. No, but in actual fact, the primary institution, the most important national institution is the National Assembly. Whether Gambia makes progress in terms of development or whether we make failure, whether there are human rights protection or there are human rights abuses in the Gambia, the solution and the problem lies with the National Assembly. Again, I will bring this to you. 2012, I had a whole day session with members of the National Assembly in their chambers on corruption. And I remember vividly telling them that the National Assembly, you are the mother and father of this country. If corruption takes place in the Gambia, it's because the National Assembly, you allow it. If Gambia is a clean country, it's because you are doing your job. So, which means our National Assembly needs to be empowered. Empowered, one, for the individual MPs to know their function, to understand the powers that they have, to be able to exercise them, but also to empower them with skills and resources. Now, the National Assembly members may not have all of the skills, because as a National Assembly member, you don't necessarily have to be well educated, or very skillful as according to the requirements, legal requirements to be a member of parliament. But it means inside the parliament, we should have built the capacity of the staffs in the parliament, because there are permanent staffs there. The members come and go, so that when those members come, they should have found a very competent, well-structured parliament that facilitates their performance as National Assembly members in terms of monitoring, in terms of lawmaking, in terms of budget analysis, in terms of scrutinizing the budget and checking the executive and all of those things. So that capacity should have been there, but unfortunately that is not the case. And I hope in the new constitution, just to address the point I'm making, we will have a parliament that is fully empowered, because until now, our constitution gives a lot of power to the president more than the parliament. And that limits the ability of the parliament to perform. And one of those is, say, budget. The budget of the National Assembly is determined by the executive. And so long as the executive determines the budget of the National Assembly, budget is one area you can control somebody. If I determine how much money you have for your lunch, I can make you go here or go there, because I can deny you lunch. I give you half lunch.
You can reduce funding for scrutinizing bodies such as PAC.
Yeah. No, the whole assembly.
Even the plenary.
Yeah, the whole assembly. So that, when these 57 vehicles came, that, crazy argument came. Yeah. Our National Assembly members are suffering, they don't have vehicles. I remember engaging National Assembly members, because I've engaged them when Fatou and Co were there. That I remember one time him complaining, members of the public are not coming to the gallery, people are not giving attention to the National Assembly. And I said, that is tragic for that to come from you as majority leader in the parliament. You cannot come here and also complain that GRTS is not giving them coverage. In other countries, parliamentary sessions are given live coverage, or then brought later, highlights of it. I said, well, the budget of GRTS, the budget of the president, the budget of agriculture, education, you approve it. So if the Minister of Finance brings you a budget, the estimates, and say, approve this for 2019, you saw what the allocation is for Office of the President, for Minister of Defense, for Minister of Agriculture, and so on. And you saw what is the allocation for National Assembly. Why didn't you tell them this budget is not adequate? Draft your own budget and tell them this is the budget we need to govern this country. So if you fail to do that, and now you complain, I said, don't complain to us. We should be complaining, crying. We go to the parliament, you dry our tears. But you cannot come to us and cry.
So one also crucial aspect that we've seen this in the past as until now, it's perhaps you may call it the lack of respect for decisions from the lawmakers, given the issue of Faraba. They've asked the gentleman there to stop. He didn't stop. We've seen cases like that flaring up everywhere, where National Assembly members either do not understand the powers they have, or they are struggling for people to respect their decisions, or even government institutions. You think there is that lack of respect or recognition from the government, the functions of the National Assembly?
Yeah, not just that Faraba, because this is an individual, but there are a lot of requests that the National Assembly makes to government institutions, and they don't respond to those requests.
PAC issued a statement to that effect last week.
They don't respond, or they don't respond on time, or they respond halfly. But you see, the fault is at 2 points. One, there is a fault with the law. Like you said, the law is weak in terms of empowering the parliament. So we hope in the new constitution, we will see more powers given to the parliament, and more obligations and less power given to the executive. Now, that aside, the other fault is the members themselves. I think our National Assembly, over the period since independence to date, they allow partisan interests, selfish interests to dominate their national function. Yeah. And so if you fail to respond to your functions as it is in the law, but you are looking at party interests and selfish interests, then you devalue you weaken yourself in the face of the executive and also in the eyes of the general public. This is the tragedy we are in. So that at this moment, and I have told a number of parliamentarians, including the Speaker, I've met a number of them at forums, and I told them, this parliament is the parliament that will make or break the Gambia.
So, but let's look at the law. The issue of the law you've talked about. Already, I think every National Assembly committee has a power equal to the powers of the High Court. If they tell you stop, you stop. Yeah. And if they order the issue of the... So you perhaps may want to think that it's not perhaps the law, but the government in itself, or the powers it felt it has over the executive, and the powers it felt it has over the National Assembly, so that it can even say, we are not doing it, and it still stands.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the law is interesting. Why it recognizes that a select committee of the National Assembly has powers equal to a high court. I mean, not altogether, because the select committee cannot sentence you to jail, but then they can summon you, like a high court. They can summon you. They can take a decision that that would stand and to be enforced by the executive. You know, but then you realize when that law says that the next steps that should follow are not in the law. So it gets stuck in a point where the National Assembly has these powers. It takes this decision, but it is not respected. Now, what follows next? The provisions are not clear. If you go to a National Assembly, I mean, to a constitution, you'll find many sections where it says procedures for this would be determined or would be done through an act of parliament. But since 1997, there's no act of parliament on those things. In fact, when this corruption issue came, somebody raised that issue. Let's recall those members. And I remember on my Facebook where I said, you cannot recall any National Assembly member right now. The Constitution provides that you can recall. Yeah. But the Constitution went further to say, the recall procedures are going to be set out in an act of parliament. But there's no act of parliament saying how you recall. So in effect, if you want to recall a National Assembly member right now, you can recall.
And he is the one which determines how you recall it.
Yeah, and they should determine how they should be recalled.
So let's come to another aspect, which is the issue of I think Joy would have another question, but the issue of the understanding of the general public with regards to the functions of the National Assembly. I go to the National Assembly a lot and I interact with lawmakers, and sometimes they will tell me, my people think I should go there to build boreholes. Some will tell me, my people think I should... Some will tell me, in fact, I have to spend close to $10,000 in my community to buy a bag of rice for people. Do you not think that perhaps also the issue of lack of understanding of the roles of the lawmakers is on both sides, both on them not understanding what they should do or not willing to do what they should do, and also the capacity of the people to understand that the lawmakers' role is X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think there's a huge lack of political awareness in this country. That is the only way you can explain how one man can rule this country for 30 years, only to produce so much poverty, and another man to come and rule us for 22 years, not just to expand that poverty, but to further, harm the people. You understand? And then we have a third man come, and he's telling us anonymous donors and bribing parliamentarians. So and all the time, the citizens,
are still labor.
Are calm. That just tells you citizens themselves are not fully aware of their sovereignty. They are yet to understand the meaning of a republic, the meaning of democracy. So consequently, the level of popular participation that we should have had, the position that citizens should have taken to hold the state to account has been very limited, low, to almost absent. So that is a huge, that's the fertile ground. And this parliament emerging from those people. And so it's two things in terms of the parliamentarian, because there are some who understand that the job of the parliamentarian is not to build a borehole in the community. But knowing that they know these people are not aware, parliamentarians themselves have campaigned with those kind of promises.
Exactly.
And so, or you standing for parliament, every ceremony in your constituency, you want to go there and give a donation. And that in itself also is a violation of the Elections Act. Because it's bribery, is what the Elections Act called cheating.
Yeah.
You are making voters.
Or inducing.
Yeah, inducing voters to like you, to vote for you.
Let me ask my final question before I pass you over to Joy. Given what we have seen and coming from the presidency and a lot of orders happening in various ministries and in various institutions, Gambia has made a commitment, and this Justice Ministry repeated it time and time again, that they coming to establish an anti-corruption commission. We've seen anti-corruption commission being established in countries where there is less commitment. The director and the commissioners are being fired left, right, and center. You see a similar situation in the Gambia if there is no commitment in the leadership to fight corruption.
Yeah, I mean, so far the president has not shown any commitment to fight corruption. So it questions, therefore, or casts doubt on the ability of an anti-corruption commission, the space and the independence to do their work. But that notwithstanding, we need an anti-corruption commission. And for me, I'm really surprised because we already have an anti-corruption commission act, 2012.
Yeah.
So for me, one of the first institutions that President Barrow should have established in this country was that anti-corruption commission. Set it up. If you still feel the act is inadequate, is weak, and needs to be strengthened over time, yes, you can continue to do that amendment. But to come this far, we don't have that commission. And now we hear they are talking about creating a bill, So I don't know whether they are reviewing that act or they're creating a new bill altogether.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's all, politics that are trying to play. You set up, in December, you passed the TRRC bill. Yeah. You passed the CRC bill. You passed the
which are more complicated and cumbersome.
Yeah. And this one, the bill or the act is already there. Yeah. Well, why didn't we review it? And even if you need to amend it, you do it. We are back in December 2017, but they failed to do so. And you are now setting up this one. You set up the TRRC, you set up the CRC commission, and you are still talking about an anti-corruption. And whilst all of these things are going in the background, so why is the commitment?
Now, Mr. Madi, our final question to you. What will be, haven't mentioned the corruption and briberies and the list goes on and on. What will be your recommendation to this government?
My recommendation is Barrow to enforce the rule of law. And enforce the rule of law meaning to pick up accountability as his vehicle, as his agenda, as his objective, I understand, as his modus operandi. Because that's the only way we are going to change this country. That system change is going to take place.
Right.
If you put accountability in the center of everything. You see, all other things are very easy to do. The cheapest thing any government can do is to build a road, or build a bridge, or build a school. Because the money is there.
That's easy.
Yeah. JRA is collecting, the president said in January alone, $800 million.
Yeah.
How much loans have they contracted in this 1 year? How many grants have they received?
By the way, our debt stock has gone from 120% of the GDP to 136%.
Right, yeah.
That means we've
Yeah.
contracted 16% more.
All of that aside, you and I are following the Janet Commission. Just listen to the millions of dollars and dollars that have been quoted, generated from our public institutions, GNPC, and the rest.
Right.
This is money that is locally produced. So the resources are there. So if Barrow wants to bridge Banjul Basse right now, you can bridge them very easy. You can go to China, they gave you a loan. So the easiest thing for any government to do is to build a road. I argued this case during Jammeh's time, and people are like,
these are the things they consider tangible achievements.
People were making this point. I was in a forum trying to compare Jammeh and Jawara. Now you have a university, you have a television station, you have an app. I said that's cheap. yes, Jawara failed to build those things because he didn't want to build them.
Yes.
But if he wanted to build them, they are cheap to build. You go to Nigeria on the Sani Abacha, you go to Sierra Leone on the Strasa, you go to Mobutu, you'll find massive infrastructure. Yeah. Because to build those things are easy.
And
but the biggest job is, at the end of the day, how do we ensure accountability so that if you are going to build that road, it is road that is value for money, that is quality. I mean, monies are not being paid under the table and stuff like that. How do you make sure the economy is run in a way that internet connectivity is excellent? You know, electricity supply is there. To make those things happen, accountability. Because why are we not, I mean, we have 4 GSM companies in this country providing internet services. Why is internet so poor in this country? 2 million people. How many people are using internet in the Gambia? No mountains, no snow, no hurricane, no natural obstacles.
And it's still not.
You are in the middle of Banjul, you cannot get correct connectivity. Because nobody is holding Gamcell, QCell, Africell, and Colbert to account.
And we have actually, I think, the connected population is somewhere around 300,000.
Yeah. That is one little city in America or in US or in Senegal. You go to Senegal, I mean, I go to Senegal in a small lousy hotel in Yoff. I connect to their Wi-Fi, I watch videos. Absolutely. I sit here, I want to watch a 15-minute video. I mean, I spend so much time. Why? Accountability. This is the problem. Why is Nawab not giving us electricity? For 52 years?
And they've contracted within 22 years, $9 billion of debt.
Yeah. Why is that? Because nobody is holding the state is not, I mean, the president is not holding Nawab to account. This government, the president is not holding the public service to account. The level of indiscipline, inefficiency in our civil service is scandalous because nobody is holding them to account. I told Al-Forum not long ago, I said, let President Barrow go to his Secretary General. Institute a time, I mean, a clock in all the public institutions in this country at Quadrangle. Alright? 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you clock in. Anyone late 3 days in the week, you will be deducted $500. You implemented 1 month, 2 months. My sister, you will see people walk from Westfield to Banjul because they know on foot. Yeah. Because they know I don't have a vehicle, but I'll be deducted if I get late. People will perform. Now, you know, sadly, annoyingly, frustratingly, Barrow is not talking about that. So all the things he's talking about are meaningless if accountability is not in the center of things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madi Jobateh. It has been quite a heated session where we have actually learned a lot. And getting the recommendation given by you is that the government should hold people that are given a mantle of leadership to account in order for the country to move forward. So thank you very much, Mr. Madi. It's been a pleasure having you on set. And to you, our beautiful viewers, we'll quickly take you through the hotspot of the week. And for this week, we will feature King Chef Fast Food, which is located at Sukuta. Let's watch.
My name is Osman Dabo. Born and brought up in Gunjur, Congo South. Yes, but living in Sukuta. Yeah. Yeah, King Chef Fast Food and restaurant, yeah. Here we serve grilled chicken with barbecue sauce, chicken and chips, with a very nice salad by its side. We also have chicken afra, very spicy, delicious as well. We have grilled fish. Like a lot of people will want grilled fish, so we have grilled fish. If you want delicious grilled fish, you can have it at King Chef. We also have shawarma, beef, shrimps, and chicken shawarma. We have snacks like meat pie, sausage roll, and cake as well. Yes, we have cake, and we have shrimp scampi. A lot of people call it shrimps and breadcrumbs, but we call it shrimp scampi, and chicken crumpy as well. There's chicken and breadcrumbs. We also have that. We have it in half and chicken leg. Yes. The service that we provide is very unique. Customers, once they come here, they always want to come back because of the taste of the food, the quality of the food, yeah, the quantity, the quality combined. That's one of the reasons why people always come to King Chef. It's the hottest spot in town anyway. Yeah, the quality service. Yeah, sometimes also we offer free delivery. Like if you're not far from us, you call us, we can do free delivery for you.
Our guys and service, the guy of a nice job. Parce que man amade buga guys and lake and grill fish with a spicy torop. So mum ta lake ni da made ka di do hantu ni ma ñoo uti kon nak mum na lek.
Catering, yes, we do catering. If you have naming ceremony, wedding ceremony. As of now, we have a lot of people that booked us for catering for December. We have almost 3 people, 3 of them anyway. Those are wedding, a big one for that matter. So if you have wedding, you can come here. You have naming ceremony, you have birthday, you can still come here. Price is also one of the reasons why people always come here, because the prices are very reasonable. Yeah, even layman on the street can offer, can afford to buy food from King Chef fast food, and it can satisfy you.
Parce que guys, they can be cheap, it's affordable. Parce que so you say fish be 125 rek nga am ko.
Wow.
Te dafa reuy, dang ko leka be su do ko jehal sax.
We also have a shawarma, that's the chicken shawarma with beef shawarma as well. We have shrimps and breadcrumbs, which are not ready yet. Shrimps and breadcrumbs. We have chicken and breadcrumbs. We also have burger. They are not ready yet, unfortunately. But anytime you come here, you can have all those things available, inshallah. It's very, very lively and it's beautiful. You can see the guys outside. They're all waiting for you people to just leave, and they will occupy all the seats here. If you come here after 8, you can have a lot of people here. People will not have even space to sit here. So, as we say, it's the hottest spot. You want hottest spot, you can come here at King Chef.
After the green chicken, chicken and chips, afra, meat pie, abe diaring ko liyo nila.
King Chef,
Why fast food be healthy jamano?
We'll quickly take our final words from Mr. Larry Town. What do you want to end with?
Well, yes, I want to thank our viewers across the world and thank our guest, Madi Jobateh, who have been very, very instrumental in the advocacy for transparency and good governance since day one of the Uganda. And we're looking forward, of course, to another exciting week.
I think that it's been an amazing session to talk about issues that are important to the development of the Gambia. So we're all prepared for the next session to introduce our guests to the audience on our Who Am I segment before we wrap up, and I will take it back to Joy to do that.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. Mr. Madi, we have a culture that whenever we have guests in the studio, we want our viewers to get to know a little about them. And I hope you're ready for this session.
I'm not ready for that.
Well, anyways, the questions are quite simple, and I'm sure you could definitely answer them. So our first question is, who are your heroes?
Who are my heroes?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Nkuruma.
You know, Malcolm X, these are my heroes, you know. I'm not sure I have a living hero, but yeah, these are my heroes.
Oh, thank you. What is the one thing that people would be surprised to know about Madi Jobateh?
What thing people were surprised to know? I like reggae. I mean reggae. So I listen to reggae.
I am surprised to know that.
Yes, you know, that's kind of music I listen to.
Lovely. What 3 words best describes Madi Jobateh?
Humorous, simple, and happy.
What can't you do without?
What I can do without freedom. I can't do without freedom. So I want to live like, you know, so just this day, you know, I went to the prisons mile 2-3 days ago, and I'm having sleepless nights. I'm on my bed and thinking of the conditions and that other human beings are lying, sleeping, living the kind of conditions. So, so I cherish freedom. Without it, I'm nothing there.
Interesting. So where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I see myself in our communities with our youth. I mean, you know, talking and writing and, you know, mobilizing people. That's what I want to do.
That's interesting.
Interesting. So what's the best thing that ever happened to Madi Jobateh?
Wow, the best thing that ever happened to me? Knowing me, of course. What most scary thing to have ever happened to me? But I mean, the best thing to have happened to me, you know, well, I'd say having a baby, you know, yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
sort of, you know, so yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Gambian dish?
Super kanja.
Wow.
Super kanja.
Yeah, I love super kanja too.
Yes, and I'm making me late for my super
So the second to the last question that I have for you, what is the funniest thing that have ever happened to you?
The funniest thing, wow. I know. You know, no, I can't think of. Maybe, you know, I lived briefly in Europe, so, and I thought I'm educated, so I got lost in the trains, and I found it funny. But in the Gambia, the funniest thing, probably, which may not be funny, a friend of mine duped me by $75,000, say. So, you know, yeah, I mean, like I come to you, I have a vehicle, I will sell. Oh yeah, okay, Mustafa, so how much? 150, I'll advance you 75, right away. I mean, so, and then you disappear. And now I see you around and you keep telling me, no, you don't understand. And it's like many months.
You cannot say anything.
Yeah, so and I sat down there and I'm like, think about it, I'm like, Madi of all people? Somebody, I mean, but you know, trust happens.
Yeah,
so you trust people. So a very good child friend, you grow, and I can't imagine it until now. So but it makes me laugh instead of being angry, you know.
That's good to know that you have a sense of forgiveness in you. The final question to you now is, what is the most vivid childhood that you've ever had?
You know, my childhood, I think, best part of it was in Macau, and it was nice. I mean, on the beach, swimming, not for tourists, but you know, playing warga, you know, the weekends at the field, playing on the streets. So, a lot of troubles in school. I never thought I was going to reach grade, form 5, because I was always more or less on the expel list, you know, for jumping a fence or, you know, being troubling a school bus driver or, you know, troubling girls at the school. So my reports were always so Teres Nong was my principal at St. Peter's, and so there was a time I was reported to him and I was crying, and he said, Form 2 probably, don't shed your crocodile tears to me. Yeah. So that word was the first time I heard of that expression of crocodile tears, and all of a sudden I just kept quiet. I was like, but what is crocodile tears? And I thought I'm living. You know, great teacher, you know.
Yeah.
Let us know, yeah.
Great teacher.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madi Jobateh. It was great knowing who our guest is, and I'm sure our viewers did enjoy that part of the segment. Do join us next week for another exciting edition, and I still remain your host, Joy Wama. Have a pleasant weekend.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.